guys, welcome back to Say What Reacts. We are back again with BU. Number 6 this time?
Number 6 this time.
Wings era! We're in the Wings era. We do have the book. Damien here. He is not ready yet. He will be reading this tonight.
I will.
We're going to react to all the Wings today, but then he'll read it, and then we'll circle back after this and be like, this is how I see they have used Damien in this story.
Right.
This will also go into like the blood, sweat, and tears side of things as well, which is like one of the big things, the major envy that comes up after the Wings era. So we are getting into Wings era. We are going to do where's my mouse? Hello. We're going to do short film 1 and 2. So JK and Jimin's in this reaction. We'll do 1 and 2 in this one, 2 and 3, or 3 and 4 in the next one, 5 and 6 in the one after that, and then the last one will be 7, where we will see that one and then also recap the whole Wings era in general. So yeah, I'm super excited about this.
Me too.
It is very artistic. Okay. They are films. They are these little mini films.
Right on.
They are not full music videos.
Gotcha.
Or anything like that. You'll hear probably a small portion of the song, because each one of these is their own personal song on this album.
Okay.
So each one of them had a solo track on the album.
Gotcha.
Each one of them wrote, or at least wrote most of, if not all of, their solo songs on this album. Some of them actually wrote it based off of like them actually personally. Some wrote it based off of like kind of their storyline character. Others did not tell us exactly why they wrote it. Right. So we assume it's very personal to them. Okay. So yeah. Interesting, huh?
Okay. Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I am, actually, you know what we should be doing, but it's okay. We're just going to stick to storyline. We will probably, maybe if he wants to, after storyline's all done, maybe actually get into like some of the different like music videos or performances or something that have to do with stuff. Right. I don't know. We'll see if we want to go there or not.
Right on.
But because how I did it was I reacted to the short film, and then I did like a lyric video for the actual
song that was in the background. Gotcha.
And then I actually saw a live stage of the song being performed.
Gotcha.
But we're really trying to focus on storyline here.
Right.
So I think we're gonna keep it just a storyline for now. But we might incorporate that later, because the whole purpose is to get Carlos's opinion on how he's interpreting what's being presented to him. Could be right, could be wrong with what we know of the storyline so far. That's not the point. The point is seeing an outsider's perspective of the content that's being delivered and what he thinks of it and how he's interpreting it. So yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Like I said, these are like little kind of mini short films in a way. They're very interesting. I'm actually super interested in what you have to say about this. So let's go. Wait, let me make sure. Okay. Wait, I feel like I need to... Hold on. Actually, it says English sub. Oh, okay, yeah. I wanted to make sure I got the right one. I did. Because I'm smart. Because this is not from their actual channel. Their channel is not... These aren't subbed.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go to find a different channel to find it subbed,
right,
yeah.
Right.
I thought I had already done that, but I just wanted to make sure I did do that. Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Hopefully it's not 360p.
Nah, that looks good.
Yeah, it does.
The rhythms of day and night, two different words coming from two opposite poles, mingle during this time.
The things that you will hear RM say in the beginning are lines from the book. Yeah. This is JK. They didn't sub that. We're pretty sure he's saying Hyung, which means like older brother. Like he's calling out to his brother.
Wow.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
So JK.
Yeah.
Which is he has notes.
I have notes. Yeah.
He has. If you guys didn't know, I provided him with an RM little notepad. It's adorable, and an RM pen as well. So yeah, he has notes on which guys have which stories. So
and what stands out to me, so I can differentiate.
Yeah.
Because they move very fast. Okay. All right.
So JK.
Yeah. So I have in my notes.
And he's the one, in the run MV with fighting with Suga.
Yep. Like trying to take the brunt.
And Suga's the one that is associated with
fire.
Do you want to go back through this since it's short?
Yeah, it's really short. Yeah, you can play it.
Okay.
You can play it while it's.
Yeah. What do you think? Well,
you just play from the beginning.
It's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on mute so we can talk
Right.
through it. All right. So, tell me what you're thinking.
So in the beginning with the burning piano, I'm assuming that's a piano. It looked like a piano.
Yeah, it was a piano.
And then it was like they used the sound of like an accident of some sort, like a car crash or something coming down, and he wakes up like real abrupt and things. And this adds more context in terms of the more artistic side of like capturing like moments and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, him painting.
Speaking of the painting.
Yeah.
Fun fact, and so many people, this drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So many people get this wrong in the comments, and it actually it's a little annoying. Not gonna lie, I get so annoyed with people sometimes because I watch a lot of reactors, and this painting, so many people will comment, fun fact, JK actually painted that. No, he did not. And I the reason I don't like that is because I don't ever want to discredit the original artist.
For sure. And I'm sure they wouldn't want to either.
Yeah, exactly. And JK wouldn't want that either. However, JK did completely recreate that painting, and it looked so much like the original. And it was gorgeous. And I think it was on a Bang Tang Bomb, maybe, which is like their little like kind of shorts that they do, little fun extras. But he did completely, like, he was like tasked with recreating the painting.
Yes.
And he did such an amazing job. It looked so good. So yes, he did do that painting, but he did not do this painting. So if you're commenting fun facts to people, please make sure that you're typing accurate facts, because it's just kind of disrespectful to discredit the original artist. However, we do want to give JK the credit for being an insane freaking artist, which he is. You saw it in the intro video, him painting
yeah.
And they're like, Bob Ross, he's Bob Ross. Right. So obviously he's a fucking phenomenal painter, but we also want to make sure that we're giving correct facts when we're giving people information.
I'm gonna ask you to do something real quick. I hope it doesn't inconvenience you. Can you run this back a couple frames?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the little
yeah.
The slow-mo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back a little as he's approaching it right there.
Right there?
Yeah, like
okay.
Lock that up for me. You can do it for us. You can probably like transpose it later. Go back to the run video.
Okay.
The Japanese version.
Japanese. Ooh.
Oh shit!
Like,
no, but can you make it smaller? Because it's just a frame. It's just
okay.
It's just a really
yeah. I'm like,
frame. If you want
Japanese things get blocked, and I don't want this to get blocked.
I just want to see who's wearing the portrait sweater, the pink portrait sweater. That's very reminiscent of this painting.
I don't know. I thought the pink sweater was. I don't know. Hold on. Let me just pull it up this way. The run. This one.
The Japanese one.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's not the Japanese one. I'm an idiot. One. Sorry, my bad. Okay. My bad, yo.
It is all good.
Run Japanese. Yep. There we go. Got it.
It's like closer to the end. Not that white one. There's a pink. It's that pink sweater he's wearing.
Where? Who? Sorry, guys. I know you can't see this on the screen, but it'll literally blocked if I show you on the screen. So just give me a minute. I'll show you the still frame. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute.
Yeah, because there's a. I don't remember who's wearing a pink sweater, but he's wearing a pink sweater that has a portrait that's very similar to that portrait. And I wanted to point it out.
Is it JK?
It's not that one.
No, because he's wearing white.
A white one, yeah. It's a pink sweater.
And Jimin's wearing the stripes in the water. Oh my god, who is it? Is it Jin? V's wearing no, Jin's wearing suit jacket. V's wearing cardigan. Is it Suga? JK's wearing the jacket with the stripes. What is Suga wearing with the? It's Suga.
It's Suga, okay.
It is. Wow.
Yeah,
how do you remember that? Jesus Christ!
But there is a frame of him, like his whole body is turned, and you can see the portrait a lot better.
Okay, this is what he's referring to. Let me try to find the other frame that you're referring to of him being turned, and you can see. How did you even clock that? Jesus Christ! I've watched this so many times. I've never noticed that. Hold on. Going through Suga's part right now in the Japanese run MV. Oh, damn it.
Because I noticed when we were like going through it the first time, but then like when I saw that portrait, I was just like, wow, I wonder if that has anything. It's very similar, but it's like scribbled almost. And like when you're watching this video that we're watching, this little like short film that we're watching, when it moves really really fast, the portrait that's on the easel looks very reminiscent of that. It looks like it's scribbled and all the detail and shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's another scene in here where he's like he comes around and you can actually see that it's like a portrait. Now we just have to fucking be
I gotta
patient.
try to find it.
Gotta find it. My bad.
I'll show you what he's referring to real quick, just so you can see what he's referring to, so that you know. But I'm going to also try to find the clearer version of it. So he's referring to this image. I'm going to actually put it full screen so you can see it. That image. And it's a portrait of a person, but all scribbled on his sweater, and the pink sweater. And then like kind of the bright colored hair. So that's what he's referring to. I'm trying to find the image of it where he's like facing full on the camera.
Because when I saw that, because like in these Japanese videos, they're not as detailed oriented in terms of what was presented in the original Korean version.
Yeah.
And there it is. It was like very nuanced.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
And
How
I
did
saw
you
that.
fucking catch that?
So this is my thought when I saw that originally.
Oh my god!
And like
Hold
if
on.
you notice in
this
my
is what
notes,
he's talking about. What the fuck?
And each of you notice in my notes,
I've never noticed that.
I have Japanese, I need you, and run in parentheses, and the little like asterisk that I put on it, it's the looks and feels and emotional struggle internally. So like this video, to me, is like what they're going through on the inside individually, but this frame and that's when I wrote this note down, and that's what like solidified it in my mind. So if you rewind this a little bit as he's approaching that easel, like I got that feel as soon as I saw that shit.
That part?
Yeah.
And then
like you can let it play. Like when he gets up, you see like as it comes into more fine detail that it's more scribbled. Because farther away, it looks just like a wild, abstract, kind of surreal portrait.
Yeah. So who do you think that portrait's of?
Well, originally, like when I saw that on the sweater, that's when I made like, to me, I kind of connected that dot in the presentation of whatever politics are involved in in Japan, and how whatever they have to honor to put their music out there. But like that of self-portrait, like if you ever watch or if you ever had the inclination to look at artists that do self-portraits when they're having like
like a manic episode or anything. Yeah.
Or like
I've
when
seen
people
that.
like
It's
do
crazy.
when people like do drugs and
how they see themselves.
They do
so
self-portraits
crazy.
or how they feel. Like
how they
when
feel,
because the self-portrait obviously is like an external thing, but it's been
this is Suga's self-portrait about himself, and it's just all scribbled in black.
No, I just that represented like this note that I made of both of these videos because it wasn't as detailed and as intense as the original two videos and their original releases. Mm-hmm. But to me, that's like what solidified in my mind, like in context of continuity, what these videos with the very limited information that they are presenting, because they do a lot of singing and dancing specifically for this, but the little nuanced things of tying it to the other ones. And to me, of like how we were talking about during the prologue, is that reality? Is that a dream state, or is that his cognitive dissonance or of disassociation? Is that where he's going to mentally, so he doesn't break down and like do what a lot of you and other reactors initially thought? I didn't get any of those vibes, but that was like definitely when I saw that particular sweater in that frame, I was just like, in my mind, I had to make that note that it looks and feels to me the emotional distress and the grief that they're feeling and battling on the inside.
Yeah.
And they're presenting that in that video. And when I saw this portrait, I was just like, oh, that's cool. I wonder if that has anything to do, or in terms of like that art. Is it the same artist? Is it like a particular piece that they've done that they gravitate towards and wanted to represent?
I've never
when I saw
even
that portrait, I was just like, bro,
connection.
is that the same portrait?
That's
on
fucking crazy.
On the sweater.
So who do you think that this is of?
I
mean, he's staring at it on fire, correct?
Yes. And my overall opinion,
and he yells out "Young."
Yeah, and my overall opinion of JK, like, I believe that he's got on that reckless streak, that he's not necessarily out there looking for trouble. He's gonna take it whatever it comes, but he's very he doesn't care if he lives or dies, and he's willing to fight. He's not just gonna lay down and take it. And from the "I Need You" video in the very beginning of him walking in traffic, getting into
but you did mention in Run that he doesn't care what happens to him, but he cares what happens to his family, basically, as his brothers. And that's why you're like, you know, if you're angry, use me as your punching bag, take it out on me. That's what you had said. Yeah. So so who do you think this is then in the painting?
I don't know if that, because again, we don't know. I don't know why he is in that like self-destruct mode in the beginning when I was first introduced to him and I Need You. So but
you said that you think he's experiencing some type of neglect.
Yeah.
But not the same type
same type that V is going through. And like in neglect in terms of a belief system that he doesn't have a family, because he's out here, no one cares about him. Like that's how he's living his life. How it's being presented in I Need You in the very first video. And then as this video goes on, he has the picture of the woman missing the eye, that accident with the fire and the piano and stuff like that.
The woman missing the eye.
Yeah, there's a very small portrait.
I don't think it's a woman.
Oh. Is it the same person? Is it him? I don't know. Who had nothing? But he ain't got shit.
I don't know. Sorry. My bad. Continue. Right. Sorry.
But fuck, where was I going with that?
Sorry.
I just feel like, you know, these are him in his mind. And so like whatever losses that he's had, if he lost his family or an older brother, now that because I thought that was a woman for whatever reason, my bad. But
I don't think it is. Who knows? Maybe it is. Right.
Or it's somebody important to him, and maybe all he had was an older brother, maybe. And now something had happened to him, and they're gone, and he's kind of like whatever. And that, to me, also, like with the relationship that he has with Sugar, of like, hey man, I know you're going through some shit too. Take it out on me. Don't go out. Don't be me. You know, don't be out here on some self-destruct, because he can see what's happening, what he's going through in I Need You in the first video, and we see what Sugar's going through in his internal struggle in that motel room, and then brought back into a couple of videos when they're fighting in Run. He's just like, yo, relax. But then when they get into that fight, he's just like, oh, this is not what I think.
He's going through something deeper.
Yeah, he's going through something more deeper here.
And you can tell he wants to help him, but he doesn't know how.
But he's still young. Right, and we know that he is walking the path of just like self-destruct. Like, I'm gonna walk into traffic, I don't care. These dudes want to throw hands and fight with me. If I live, I live. If I die, I die. But he doesn't want that for anybody else, and recognizes that. And if that dynamic is, if these portraits are maybe like a brother that he had, or the only family that he had is no longer there, and they probably had a similar.
You don't think this portrait's one of the other members?
I don't know, because they all have their own independent things going on in their own lives.
I personally think,
who do you think that
based
is?
on the fact that I see that.
Yeah.
And the fact that
and that picture
we are seeing.
I don't know if that's kind of
an idiot. the fact that we're seeing the picture burning and fire is associated with Suga.
For sure.
And they have a connection. And Suga's obviously older.
Right.
And he gets upset when he sees Suga hurting or upset.
Right.
And he yells out Hyung, which what it looks like.
Right.
I would assume that is Suga's picture.
I got you. Sugar's videos after this one? Or
No.
He's
No. Jimin's videos after this
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Okay, but
what do you interpret as the bird on the shirt? When she drops the thing of the portrait on the ground, but then he picks it up and it's a bird, and then he puts it in an envelope, and then at the end he has wings.
Yeah.
What is
so
that?
like I was telling you about in the video before, about like with the feathers and the flying, and there's the video of like watching birds, obviously like freedom. Birds are also like messengers, like spiritually, and in a lot of cultures as well. But then him sprouting wings and white feathers specifically, a lot of people like to believe that they're like guardian angels. So if you're walking around and a white feather falls on you, find a white feather, it's letting guardian angels letting you know the universe is giving you a message. It's like, yo, you all right.
Yeah.
Like, you're not always by yourself. You got, a spirit team behind you, supporting you, delivering you messages and guidance, if you're open and perceptive to it. And sometimes we just need that reassurance of something greater is out there.
Sorry, real quick. I just noticed this looks like it's on fire. Like this looks like a flame.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. It might be hard to see. I'll put it on full screen for you real quick. This right here, it actually looks like a flame. The rest of it doesn't. None of the rest of it does. Just this teardrop is like in the shape of a flame, which I've never noticed before, but also now makes me even more think that it's
I got you.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Did I unpause it? Maybe. No, I didn't. Just kidding. So what about him with the wings at the end of this then?
I think that, so in my idea of this portrait being like his brother, from like his like maybe an adopted brother or his birth by blood brother, like the struggles that he's going through, and seeing that similar dynamic of with Suga, like, oh, you want to get down like this, and then him realizing like, oh, like this isn't what I think it is, but he's familiar with that aspect of like being like reckless. And it's not until you don't, people are windows and mirrors. It's not until you see yourself and somebody else that you realize like, oh shit, I gotta make a change. And I don't want the people that I care about walking down the same path I'm walking. It's okay if I do it, but I don't want you going through it. And what are you going through? Because then after that, he's like really solitary. He said like he's shook.
Makes me, I'm very interested that you are creating kind of a possible older brother for him on that portrait, when we haven't been given any information of siblings so far, other than I think V.
Well, obviously, because he
is
has
the only one that we've. Well, no, V had a sister. V has a sister.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've been given any inclination of siblings for anyone else yet.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that you would view that portrait as maybe possibly an older brother as opposed to one of the members.
Yeah. And
found
going
that
back
interesting
to a couple other videos as well too, like I feel like BTS gives you the grace of not only seeing these stories, like you see your story. I've had a portion of my life I've lived like this.
Yeah, that makes sense then. That you would interpret it differently.
Yeah.
Of course, when I reacted to this, I see this, and I'm like, why the fuck does he have wings? What, did he die too? Because remember, the last video, I was thinking, did V die? And now I see this, I'm like, did JK die? And I'm just like freaking out.
And that's what I was getting at. I didn't mean to cut you off on that last video on that interpretation.
You're good. We forgot to finish.
Yeah, and I'll get to that, and I'll actually tie into this point as well too. So that aspect of it, because at the end of that video there's a
Young
jumbo
Forever.
jet. Yeah, Young Forever, a jumbo jet takes off, and we got caught up in some.
FYI, they have a song called Airplane.
There you go. If airplane takes
it's not
off,
part of the BU though.
Right. So that plane like takes off, and it's just like that song, and the lyrics are very heavily involved in terms of like, our journey's going to be a struggle. I'm going to keep up, and I'm going to keep going and following my dreams no matter what. And they're on an airfield, and they're all running together. And then the very last scene, that plane takes off. So that's them together.
And then the white feathers as well.
And the white feathers as well. And like with the angel thing, like tying back into Run, where like RM is kind of like this guide to the six of them, but I don't know what he has gone through, and I've created this narrative in my mind of my life, of my personal experience.
Well, which by the way, I wanted to say real quick, and I hope I don't my ADD. I would never be able to figure out where I left off. So remember where you left off here. But I found it so interesting that you, after watching the guide, which you should definitely check out his guide reaction, it's so good. Um, but after watching the intro guide to all of them, and you're like, RM's my man. RM's the dude.
Yeah.
I love him. Like, I connect with him. He's the man.
Yeah.
And now, and that's on just them as people.
Yeah.
And now on them as characters in a story, you're like, RM is me. I'm like, that's so crazy that both times
for sure.
the person you connected the most to is RM. It's so, it's so interesting. All of these guys. Well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But personally, because that's like also like a point of, I've been RM in my life.
Yeah.
But I've also, and again, creating a narrative in my mind based on my personal experience. And I know, and I don't want to like rub anybody the wrong way, and I know that there's a continuity in these, if not all, majority of these questions will be answered. But I'm connecting to me in my life.
That's I think what we all kind of do to a certain extent.
And we all live different lives, and we've always experienced like different things. And I look at it from a creative standpoint as well too. Like regardless if you're in a collective or not, because I've collaborated with producers and other like singers and songwriters and other lyricists in my musical endeavors. And even when you collaborate and you're part of something, you bring your own thing to it. Yeah. And we all experience life. Again, it's all subjective, but we all struggle. We all have our pains. We have our failures. We have our successes. And we're all humans. We're all the same at the same time. We're the universe manifested. So rather than them tell me what it is, because at this point in time, as they're releasing all these things, you're making your connections and you're making your speculations and your observations and kind of creating a narrative before you knew.
Right.
Before you knew that there was going to be
all this other stuff.
So it's like, this is what I'm doing. I'm feeling, not only am I stepping into their shoes, but there's a lot of aspects where I don't have to. Like, I know, at least to me, this is what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
And going back to the wings, the angels, and the plane. So, again, like based on your experiences and what you were getting involved with, because it was kind of established a little bit. There was a story established when you did start watching this.
Yeah, it was pretty much all done for them. Well, it's not that it's done, but you know what I mean.
A lot of it was there.
Like the webtoon had already come out. All that stuff was already out. Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those.
And the book 1 had already come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, so I'm just ultimately like, I don't have any reference. And I never had any inclination to get involved with it at any point in time in my life other than us doing this right now. So I'm just filling in these gaps with my personal experiences. Right. And it connects with me on a level where this is like it's very difficult. It's not it's not impossible for me to sit through this, but it's just like, it reminds me of a lot of things that I've kind of like buried away.
Oh, sweetie. I hate that I'm putting you through this. This makes me sad.
No, don't be sad. This is good. This is healthy. I think this is why they do it.
Yeah, that's true, though. It is true. They do it because they know other people are going through stuff, and it's something that people can maybe use to relate to heal,
for sure.
And stuff like that. So, well, we have another one next.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go into the other one. And unless you want to call it a day on this video.
No. We're good.
Okay.
But that's like when we were talking about in the other video. Again, I wasn't like trying to cut you off. It's just
totally fine.
I wanted to know, like, where did you get?
How did you get this?
How did you get to your conclusion?
Well, because
not that
I
it's right or wrong. It's subjective. So I was just like, that's interesting because it's like,
yeah. For me, it wasn't. I guess am very lucky in my life that I've never been in any of their positions.
Right.
That's not the same as everyone, but it could be the same as a lot of people. So for me, I am literally looking at this as I'm very empathetic to what I'm seeing.
For sure.
But I can't personally put myself in those shoes in a way where I have lived that before, or even a portion of that before.
Right.
So I'm looking at it as a story that's being presented to me.
And I'm glad that you brought that up in terms of using empathy, because that's what I said when I watched the Run video.
Mm-hmm.
Him engaging in that physical altercation with Sugar was out of
Sugar.
Out of empathy.
Sorry, you said it with the R at the end. Sugar.
out of empathy, but then when he realized that him acting out in the way that he isn't something that he can deal with, and there's a term for that in psychology. It's the wounded healer.
Oh.
So it's like people that are super empathetic to the point to where they either don't want to acknowledge their grief and their trauma, or they want to, as a surrogate, try to heal and help others.
I feel like that's kind of my thing more, I guess, because I don't have those experiences. I mean, like I said,
and it works two ways. There's people from the outside, external empathy, I'll call it, of you haven't really experienced anything and you're aware of the life and the abundance that you've been able to receive.
I had and I have the most absolutely amazing parents in the entire world. So it's like I thankfully have never experienced something like that. And I almost been like, I've never unfortunately. I'm like, wait, no, not unfortunately. Not unfortunately. That's not what I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean.
For sure.
Like, you know, so although I can't directly relate to anything that's happening in the storyline, I am a very empathetic person, and just, I mean, even when I see someone cry, like, it's so hard for me not to cry if I see him cry. Like, I can't deal with this, because I am like, if I see someone else cry, I'm just like, oh shit, here, that's fucking gonna happen. I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to others' struggles and emotions and what they're going through. I mean, I can't, if I see like a sad animal video, I'm bawling my fucking eyes out. Like, I can't deal with it.
And that's what I got in the Run video. When he gets thrown up against the wall, and he sits back and he realizes, like,
oh shit,
I can't.
I can't.
Do this. There's nothing I can do to help him.
Yeah, I want to help him, and I can't. Like,
and what it almost is like has its own level
because it almost makes him feel like he's worthless. You know
it's not worthless. It's just making that realization.
Sorry, helpless, not worthless. Helpless. Yeah.
And that's why I feel like that stemmed from something.
And I feel like he already feels.
And that's why I feel like that's a portrait of his brother outside of his. I
still see it 100% as Suga.
That's
because
fine.
He wants to help Suga, and
Definitely.
he can't.
Yeah.
And Suga's literally sitting here burning, which he was in I Need You as well.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's calling out from like, and he wants to help him, and he just has to stand there because there's nothing he can do.
But I think it's it's that realization that, again, with the wound, and that's where it's like we've heard like hot takes in terms of like toxic positivity, where people are just looking at like the bright side of life and not acknowledging.
Fine. It's like, stop. Sometimes it's not fine.
It's delusional, right? Yeah. It's a delusion. Yeah. But
it's great to be positive, but you can't negate the negative and act like it's not there, because it is there. And sometimes
you can't just cut off that side of you at all. You know, you feel that we're receptive to that for a reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that Run video, where he has that it literally like floors him. Like he's like, oh shit. That reality hit him so hard
that he sat there while everyone was there, and he was still sitting there when everything was gone.
And everything was good too, because shortly after that they're partying and he's still sitting there, and he was there. That gravity just it grounded him so much to where he was just like, damn.
Well, everyone was there and he's partying, he's just sitting there, zooms into him, and then it zooms back out and nothing's
everybody's
there.
Gone.
Everyone's gone.
Right. And it's a very humbling and grounding moment when you realize things like that. And that, again, people are windows and mirrors. Yeah. So he sees, as I interpret it, that like Suga reminds him of his brother. Mm-hmm. In my mind, in my narrative that I've concocted in my
not my narrative, in his narrative.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about storylines and interpretations. I'm like, I don't see that at all. And he's like, well, that's what I see.
Yeah,
so having two different opinions. Exactly. Having two different opinions on what we see or what we're, interpreting.
And that's a hard pill to swallow when you realize that, what are you doing for yourself? Like, you can't heal anyone, you can't help anyone unless you heal and help yourself.
Right. That's the biggest thing.
It's a very grounding experience that when you have that,
love yourself.
Yeah. And then when you have that aha moment to where it's just like, I'm walking down this path because in I Need You, we see how he's living his life.
Well, and the very interesting part, and just you mentioning that, is that's literally, although we are talking about a storyline, this is also what BTS themselves have gone through.
Yeah.
Like, they are here making music for us, and a lot of their music has healed us, and while they're healing us, they're still struggling themselves with their own personal issues. They've been very honest and open about that. And, it got to the point where they were like, we're telling everyone else and we're helping everyone else, but like, we've got to heal ourselves and we need to love ourselves. Like, there's literally... never mind, I'm not going to spoil it because we're going to react to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about RM's short film. We'll get to it.
Well, and I was about to bring up RM in the Japanese version with the mirror and the black hand. And that aspect, that in that mirror, regardless if it's fogged or you are always going to see yourself, regardless of how much you try, whatever affirmations and confirmations and whatever you practice, you're just pretty much disconnecting. You're trying to distract yourself from the reality of what it is.
Yeah. Well, speaking of distracting yourself from reality, this one's called Lie. And this is Jimin. So I am going to be very interested. Do you want to take any notes?
No,
or no,
I
just look at Jimin?
just seeing.
Jimin is water.
Yep.
Yeah. Water and
The
J-Hope.
pictures, right?
Uh-huh. The who?
The pictures.
The pictures? Well, burning the pictures,
Right.
water, and
Yep.
then J-Hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. I'm so interested to see what you are going to say. Let's go. This is the... Okay, yeah, this is still the one with subtitles. Okay. This is so exciting. I'm so intrigued by what you're going to say to this.
My parents' house made up one rhythm. This rhythm
The way it says realm.
familiar to me
Love it.
in almost every way. Mother and father, love and strictness, model behavior, and school.
So you have the JK's, the feather ones. He's the apple one. More to go.
Right on.
So
I think it's interesting because a couple of videos maybe ago when I was saying about like the pictures, they're not real. Like he's in this contrast of this like I'm present in the moment, and when he looks back to those pictures, it's
different than what he remembers.
Remembers, and he also like destroys them. But then we see in other videos he still has some.
Wait, hold on. Are you getting him? Are you getting him and Jin intertwined?
Could be.
Yeah, because Jin is the one who takes the pictures, and Jin is the one who looked at the picture in the truck.
Right.
And saw it was just him and no one else.
Yeah.
So that's Jin. The only thing that has to do with him in pictures
is when he burned
it in the tub, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing with him.
Was he
pictures.
not in the Young Forever video when he's walking? Is that him with the Zippo?
No, that's Suga.
Oh, okay.
Suga's always fire.
I got you.
For the most part.
Right. For the most part. Yeah, it's been interchangeable. The Japanese
he was the one that was soaking wet in Young Forever. He was actually dripping water in Young Forever.
Right.
Yeah.
But in terms of perception and reality, like that's what I feel like with him. Like with I got notes, Carlos.
You got notes. Read your notes.
With this is Jimin with J-Hope.
Yeah, J-Hope is the pills.
Yeah, with his medication.
Yeah, I'm gonna play through this while you're talking.
Yeah. And it's I haven't personally experienced this because I haven't been medicated for anything other than like when I was a child they put me on like Ritalin or whatever.
Me too.
And I definitely know later on in my life, like looking back on it, that when I was medicated, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like myself.
For sure.
But I was a little kid. But anecdotally, like in comparison to family members and friends of mine that needed to have like mood stabilizers or like antipsychotics and things like that, that they feel very overwhelmed and compelled that when they are medicated they're not themselves, that they're conscious, they're cognizant.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that like I appreciate that BTS kind of presents that portrait of that you are still aware even though you are medicated. So it's like not only you are kind of like a shell of who you are, you feel, but it's like you're present in your
and you're
mind.
talking about for J-Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like with this, it's that other side to where like the medication is not even taking. Like he knows who he is
for Jimin.
For Jimin, and what he wants to feel, and when he is medicated, he's just not. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, that's why he seems very constantly. Even in the tub, he was except for those moments where he had a breakdown.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I'm curious as to what you think is going on with him in general. Like, why? Why is he like? I mean, we don't know why for a lot of things. We don't know why J-Hope is on those pills or anything like that. Right. But I mean, like...
And, like, how this is presented and then, like, taking those quotes from Damien, right? In terms of, did his parents put him in this thing and they're running a series of tests? Maybe when we watch...
Because it says model behavior.
Model behavior in school and love and strictness. And it's like when you're stepping outside of that and going back to a couple other videos that... As a youth, we look back at our parents and thinking that they were limiting us or didn't want to understand us. But as we get older, we realize that they're just doing the best they can. And not everybody's perfect. No one is perfect. So you're not going to know the fallout and what you do and the repercussions of your life that, you know, your parents lie to you for your benefit. They don't lie to you to be malicious, you know?
Yeah.
Not
again, so you think his parents put him here.
Right. And
to like do tests to figure out why he is...
Not to do tests in terms of like, hey... Being a young man and maybe as a child they didn't have the thought of it's us, right? Like say for instance, just putting it out there in the cosmos, like I'll say for this particular short film that he has something wrong with him outside of a societal norm. So his parents are just like, well, we provide you with shelter, security, we clothe you, we feed you. We're not asking anything. We're doing everything we can. So why you like this, there has to be something wrong with you, not us.
Right.
So he's running through the Rorschach tests. He's being observed. They're giving him again, like there's no much dialogue, or like when he sees the card, he feels suffocated. And then he feels agitated, irritated. Yeah. And then we see like that quick flash of like that literal pharmaceutical cocktail.
Yeah.
And his demeanor kind of changes and like the representation of like the apple.
See, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So, you said the pharmaceutical cocktail, right? But right before that, we see this. And we see him... We see that, and then we see this. Where he looks over at the bed and no one's there.
Right.
And then we see this. I immediately was like, J-Hope. Immediately, like, because J-Hope was with him.
Yeah.
In whatever medical facility they were in.
Right.
So, and now he's not there, and then you see the pills, which the pills I associate with J-Hope.
Right.
So that I immediately thought of J-Hope for this. Because of that. And then he's reaching out towards him. Yeah. He's not there.
Yeah.
And then this... You're not going to know this for a very long time. So just know that you're not going to have an answer for this.
Oh, okay.
For a hot minute.
I got you. I just thought that was like the directions to that portrait in the wilderness where he's like at the end, where he's like psychedelic in the background and stuff like that. It's like, you know, it's got the crazy bend. And if it's like in the mountains, you got to watch for sharp turns and stuff like that. That's what I assumed. And then like panning back to that picture and then him at the end.
Why are you like this?
What do you mean?
I don't understand.
That's what I assumed.
So, wow. Okay. I've never, in the whole time, did I associate that and where that leads to, which I know now what that says and where it leads to. I know now. But back then when I didn't know, even now that I do know, I've never associated that with the picture at the end.
Oh. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
It does. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
okay.
right. You're right.
All right.
You're very right. Wow. Okay. What the fuck? It's still to this moment I'd never related the two until you said that.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think of this? The words here of this song.
The lie, like the medication, it's a lie. Like there's nothing wrong with me. I can't control what's wrong with me.
Find the me who is hidden. I cannot escape from this lie.
Right. So it's like I'm being medicated. I'm put under this test. I'm being isolated, and there's nothing. Because it's not like, again, this is where I can separate, because I haven't personally experienced anything like this myself personally, but I have tried to support people that have gone through this, and I've tried to understand where they're coming from, because empathy can only take you so far. You can feel for other people, but if people, when you explain to them, they sound like they're crazy.
Right.
To them, they've made themselves believe that they're crazy because of whatever, you know, society says, or whatever their parents or their family units or whatever their community says, and things like that. So like, caught in a lie is that I'm not crazy, there's nothing wrong with me. And as a kid, if you don't know what's wrong with you,
right,
and your reality, that's all you know,
right,
and you're being subjected, you can't defend yourself,
right.
And not just like a cultural thing like in Korea, but even here where we have mad advances in the modern world, where we have a lot of things available to you, it's always like, hey, there's something wrong with my kid, and the kid can't speak for themselves, can't defend themselves,
right,
and can't, in lack of experience, can't express how they feel.
They don't know what's wrong with them.
Exactly. So it's like,
they don't know that anything is wrong sometimes,
and
you know.
And if you think about that
wrong.
If you think about that pressure of you feel what you feel and think what you think, and you're experiencing what you're experiencing, and you try to go to your parents or your counselors or whatever, and you're explaining this to you, and you're just like, well, your parents are stable, they got this thing going on for you, there's no external or internal thing that we can find wrong with you, so
yeah,
we're going to run these tests and all these things, and this is going to make you better. And as a kid, you're hoping, because now not only letting yourself down because you don't know who you are, you're having an identity crisis, and then you're also having imposter syndrome on top of that, because it's like, now you're going to get medicated, but now it's not making anything better, it's just allowing me to be more palatable. And as you get older,
you have to feel like you have to change who you are,
and it turns into a little bit
make other people happy.
Exactly. And it turns into a little bit of resentment, because there was nothing wrong with you to begin with, because this has been your whole life, like, leading forward. So now your reality has already been kind of altered and shattered already. And as you get older, trying to deal with these things, so what do? You struggle internally. You put a smirk on your face, and
put
you
a
just
smile
go
on your
through,
face. That's why at the end he's just like smiling and just, you know. But look at this here, though.
Yeah.
So is that part of like what you're saying? Like, you just put a smile on your face, you struggle internally, you don't say anything.
Well, not even that as well. Even if it's against who you are, like even when your body tries to reject it, because that's a lot of things that people don't talk about either. Because it's like, get on this mood stabilizer, get on this antipsychotic, get on this medication, but what is the side effect of it physically? Is it going to make me nauseous on top of what you have to be present with, your shadow self, your inner child, and your demons? But then again, what about the reaction? Not just the physical aspect of like, I'm a shell of my former self and I have to put this smile on and live this lie, but also the physical aspect of, now you're juggling this. Is the medication making me better, or is it making me more palatable? And then that shifts.
Is this working,
or is it working? But is it working? Who's it working for?
Yeah.
Is it healing me, or is it just making me more?
It's just making other people feel better about
because I
the
can.
Situation.
They don't have to worry about me now, because they're allowing me to get healed and treated and all that other stuff. And that's how I feel. And like with this water element of him like reaching out, like he's not submerged in the water, but that's been like an element of discomfort, I'll say.
Yeah.
He's been very uncomfortable and going through something internally that he's very, very aware of. And as the world around him, with that water analogy of V getting deep in the black in the water, and it's just, again, like, you're not really washing anything away, but you're just getting deeper. Your reality is starting to open up, and you're starting to. This is a kind of like a hard turn of reality. These like hard lessons that you have to learn and endure and survive. And like with something like this, you're reaching out, but could he see? Because ultimately, like if it's raining sideways like that,
that's hard to see. Yeah.
Are you reaching for
help?
What
is this?
I think that the apple is like the cure-all. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So if I just fall into line and I take the medication and Snow White, right? Is it Snow White? Who eats the poisoned apple?
Snow White.
But it was like the gift of like, oh, here you go, and it was ultimately a tool. So, and again, I'm pulling that from like the woods thing of kind of like almost like a mystical thing that's happening, which can feel like I felt like that, where things get so surreal, where it's just like, am I in a fairy tale?
Is this surreal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I looked at that apple. Like, rather than him eating a handful of pills, can't show that to kids on TV. But we can allude to, like, what can that be? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. And if this is part of my treatment, if I eat the apple, what's he do at the end of this video? He eats the apple. It doesn't look like he's enjoying it. Doesn't take a big bite of it. Just, like, enough to make him happy. And he's got the smirk on. And it's just, like, I guess this is the life I'm in right now.
So this whole thing, this whole part right here.
Yeah.
Because of where I was at during the reaction at this time.
Yeah.
I am like, is V still with us?
Mm-hmm.
I see JK with wings. I'm like, oh my god, is
You're
JK
thinking, like,
dead
they're
too?
gonna be
And then
dead
I see
by the end of this
it's like,
shit?
I'm like, oh my god, is he fucking like, what is happening? I'm like literally like, what? I don't understand.
Play this through a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, just let it ride for a second. And I'll give
And
you
he's like
mine.
reaching up, and I'm just like, wait, did he die too? Like, I'm like, at this point, man, I just am like, I don't know what the fuck, like.
The lie.
Obviously, yeah.
It's the lie. He's drank the Kool-Aid. He's eating the apple. He's taking the pill. He's medicated. He sees the light. You're right, guys. I'm cool.
I'm fixed.
Well,
for
not
you.
But
Yeah.
the veil has now been removed. You're no longer isolated. You're no longer trapped here.
But he is trapped. You could see
we
it.
see that.
Yeah.
He knows that and what he feels. But it's
others.
He stopped fighting himself just to get out of this situation and be free.
But that's actually this.
Yeah.
That is actually what is like happening internally, right?
Yeah.
Apple a day.
And look, he's not happy
I like
about
the
it,
apple
bro.
a day, but he puts on a smile at the end, right?
He's like, yep, it's doing its job.
I'm trapped inside myself. I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he has like never like has like any emotions and stuff on certain occasions. Obviously, when he's friends, when he's with his friends, he does. But other than that, he's just going through the motions to make others happy.
To make others happy. Because I'm the problem.
Right.
You know, and that's, again, I'm not trying to say that what he's conveying, but I've had conversations with a lot of people. I've lost a few people that I've had this conversation with, and they feel... Yeah. That's why they took the medication, so they could be palatable for everybody.
Yeah. And fucking... You can't do that. You're going to make me cry. Oh, no. Don't ever apologize for being emotional. You never apologize for that. I just can't look at you all the time. I'm gonna cry. But it fucking sucks though that like we, as a society, make others have to go through that because we view them as not normal and it makes us uncomfortable. It's like, you know what I mean? Like if they're not hurting themselves or others, like who cares if they're fucking a little different than you? You know what I mean? And it just sucks that, you know, as a society, what people like who the fuck is the decider of normal,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so fucking annoying. Like you can apply that to anything. You can apply that to, you know, people's personalities, people's, you know, mental, you know, kind of situations and where they're at in life. You can apply that to
their
just
spiritual practices.
Yeah, you could apply that to their choices of clothing. Like, oh, well, they're not wearing normal things.
Political
like,
choice.
Exactly. Like, who the fuck are you to say what's normal? What's normal to you is not what's normal to someone else. You know, it's just, it's. Sometimes I think the world is moving backwards, man. It's sad. But we're not going to get into all that because that's a whole other conversation. But anyway, yeah. I hate that people feel trapped because of others, you know? And ultimately, like, maybe the person actually really does need help. But the type of help they're being given is just not it. The type of help they're being given is to make others happy, not actually to heal themselves. Right. And it's like, what? And sometimes doctors are like that. Like, that's a sad reality. Yeah. Oh, goodness. I told you this shit was deep, man. I told you. Wasn't going to be easy to get through this one. Right. I don't think, he did not realize. He did not. I was like, you don't understand. Like, this one's different. Yeah. We've done two storylines. We've done EXO's storyline. We've done ATEEZ's storyline. And they were both super fun.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
They're more fantasy based. This is like reality based. You know what I mean? Like this is struggles that people actually go through in your actual day-to-day life. You know what I mean? So it's like, it hits on a different level because of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean,
it's hit me on like
so many levels. Yeah. And I didn't realize I feel so bad. Well, hopefully.
It's part of the process. It was meant to be.
Well, yeah, I'm like, hopefully, in a way, it's kind of also healing. Just
For sure,
seeing it in the same
definitely
aspect. I don't know, but
it's definitely soothing to see that there's artists and creatives out there that rather than make a quick buck or follow what the paradigm is at the time, that they're just like, this is what I'm dealing with to an extent. And again, it's all subjective. Like, we are all the same. We all can connect to this on different levels. I just didn't realize that it was going to be my whole life reflected in BTS.
Yeah. And it's so funny because we always say in the comments, you know, like, BTS comes into your life when they're supposed to.
Right.
Like
and that's just how the universe works, man.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. And the fact that, like, you're literally about to go back to school for, like, mental health and, like, to learn for counseling and stuff.
Because I want to do my part.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, this is interesting.
Yeah,
like, this is interesting timing here. Yeah. But, what the hell was I about to say? Freaking ADD. ADD! It's a real struggle, y'all. I don't know what the hell I was going to say. If I remember, I'll say it in the next one. Yeah.
I'm excited. Who's the next one?
Next one, I believe it's going to be... Who?
J-Hope.
Like, who?
J-Park.
J-Park's a whole other person that you don't even know about.
Yeah, well, I know of a J-Park who's an actor. Personally.
Oh yeah, there is a J-Park actor, I believe. Yeah, but no, there's a J-Park R&B artist that's kind of controversial, so we won't get into that.
Right,
anyway,
right. I think we got into...
We might have briefly during tea time mentioned him. But anyway,
I know J-Park as an actor.
In
the forefront of, like, my brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I believe the next one, if I'm not wrong, is going to be Suga and V.
Okay.
And then the one after that will be J-Hope and RM, and then the last one is Jin.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Y'all. I hope we're not making y'all cry.
Yeah.
If
we are,
you know
what? Let it
part
out.
of the process.
Be present.
Yeah, exactly.
Be present.
All right, y'all. Love you guys a whole bunch.
Work.
Let me know
we can do
your
this together.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know your thoughts down below. If there's any details maybe I missed, please let us know in the comments down below, but please do not spoil anything that's to come. We want to make sure that he is...
But real quick, that sign goes to that place? We were like, you're not going to know where this sign goes.
I guess I could tell you what the sign says. That's not spoiling anything. It's
because I could probably just Google it if I really wanted to.
Hold on. I don't want to freaking say it wrong. No, I know. Hold on. Yeah, a lot of people want to call it hold on 1 second. I cannot let you read this page. There is definitely spoilers on this page. I'm like, hold on a second. Oh my god. It's called Flowering Arboretum. It's not arboretum. It's not arboretum. That's not because there's ARB, so it's arboretum, not there's an R between the two. So it's arboretum. A lot of people will pronounce it arboretum. Okay. And I'm like, that's not the word. But yeah, Flowering Arboretum, or if there's slight pronunciation difference on arboretum, but it is AR. Anyway, that is what the place said. It's like 2 miles this way to the Flowering Arboretum. Right. Which is, I think, kind of like a flower, like, isn't it like a
preserve?
Like a what is it called? Greenhouse garden, garden thing with flowers. Yeah, I think it's one of those places. If I'm missing anything,
but arboretum, that's like trees.
Yeah. So when you, that's why I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I mean, that place is located out there, like in the country. It's far away. Right. So I've just never related that direction is to the picture in the trees.
For sure.
I've never related those two things like ever. What the fuck? How did you get that? Like, I'm just like, what? How is he doing this?
That's the only thing that made sense to me.
Every time. I don't know how he does it every time.
Well, like in terms of like therapy and things like that, you know, it's like, hey, you know, when you get out, when everything's good, you can come to this place. There's things in life that are worthwhile outside of what you're used to. Or what, like if you live in the city or whatever the case may be, there's like an escape that you can. There's a place that you can kind of become one.
Yes.
It's like if we were getting therapy and they're just like, "Hey man, when you get out of here, we're gonna take you to Yellowstone." It's like,
you think that's? I don't want to go away anything. I don't want to
We
give
don't
away
have
anything.
to.
I'm just wondering. So you think that's a place Jimin is longing to escape to, not
If I'm
a place
from personal experience, again, not I've never been like in any type of like therapy where I needed any type of medication, but I have been in like youth groups. I come from Atlanta, and they would be like, and we would have pictures of parks and like destinations in like rural Georgia that they're just like, hey,
That's the only thing there.
I got you. No, but it's a change of scenery. So it's like in my particular case of like with my PTSD, I grew up in a really hostile urban environment. So now I would go out to these camps and shit. They're just like, hey, we're going to this national park, and I'm like, who gives a fuck? But then when I went out there, I was just like, this
beautiful.
and it's different. Like there is the air isn't polluted. There's wildlife. I can connect with myself and be able to be present in this moment, and not have to worry about getting my sneakers stolen or my house getting broken into. Like this is a place of tranquility.
Yeah.
This is a place different from where you're used to. And when I was getting like not like counseling, but they would like talk to us and stuff like that. It turned to a point to where it's just like I don't want to talk about my life anymore. I want to go pick flowers. I want to go climb these trees.
That's how I'm gonna heal.
Yeah, or not even how I just want to heal. I'd much rather be anywhere.
But here.
If you're gonna take me to this place, which is far away from my troubles, I want to go to this place now. That's like
I want to say something so bad, but I'm afraid to say something.
We can just put a pen in it, and we can watch the other two.
Yeah, we
can. Watch the
can.
other three, right? We got 3 more.
We have
4 more.
3 more in this. Yeah. Okay, I'm choosing not to say. Fuck! I want to say something so bad, but I'm gonna choose not to. I'm gonna choose not to say something. I'm gonna do what I'm asking all of you to do.
Yeah.
Don't fucking spoil shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of how I can word things without spoiling things, and I'm just like,
right.
I just, And don't get me wrong, there's a lot I could say, and you still would have no clue.
Right, for sure.
Because there's a lot that people told me, and no one knew what was actually going on until book 2.
I got you.
Jimin's full story does not get revealed until book 2.
Right.
Well, you know little things, you find out little things, but you don't know the actual what fucking happened. Until book 2, which is a long ways away.
What I find is like really, 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 really intriguing about all of this is how they're presenting this story again. This resonates with me with all the members so far, right? And it's experiences that I've had to a degree, but there's also things that I've dealt with, like in my family. I've lost a couple family members and friends to similar mental illness, things like that. And like their rehabilitation was part of the program rather than do something as intrusive as like heavy medication and you're still in the same situation that you are. It's like this rehabilitation program will put you out here. So in your own time, you're distracted and you're in a safe place. But at the same time, like nothing out here is going to harm you. And so you cognitively make that decision in your brain like, okay, this is why I'm here. There's nothing that can hurt me out here. I'm far away from the traumas and troubles of my life. And I can connect with like, what the universe created for me, that this is the natural beauty of things and you can ground and find yourself with no distraction. But that can, to a degree, you create kind of like this fantasy of this is like my Mecca, this is my healing place. But when you come back to reality can come in like really thick and really fast and really hard, and then you can relapse, or you can start creating other dialogues and narratives and delusions in your life to move forward to try to find this even keel. But it's really hard to convey that message to your friends, to your family, to yourself.
I think it's the hardest to your friends and family.
It can be.
It's just that's why people have therapists. It's easier to tell some complete stranger a bunch of crap that's going on with you than tell the people you care about the most and possibly have this fear of their opinion changing of you.
But then you also carry that stigma for yourself too. Let me tell this therapy what I think they want, what I think they want to hear.
But sometimes people.
But then, and then also too, like
in
from my personal experience, like that's why I want to get into counseling versus like being a psychiatrist or actually being a psychologist, because I want to provide people with solutions, but have that door available. Because I can't fix you. I can provide you with
the tools to try
to
to help
you through
yourself.
Today. I can get you through today and tomorrow, and I can help you get through this until you want to make that decision on where you want to go and where you want to be in your life. But then I also know people personally that they have the luxury of just getting like therapists and they just want to talk. They just want to gossip, and they want to let all their things out. But as soon as they're out of that session, or they hang up that phone, or they close their laptop from that session, they go right back into reality. They're just right back where they are. They need that chaos rather than actually being accountable for what they can control. Because once you start,
some people thrive off of chaos sometimes.
Right, that's all they know. That's all they know, and that's what they want, and that's not healthy altogether.
Oh, God, no.
But what can we do? We're all trying to figure it out, man.
This has been over an hour.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no. You don't say you're sorry. This is good. This is good conversation. This is exactly. I personally feel this is exactly what BTS would want.
And I want to tell y'all, like, when this is out, and you're gonna see this, and you're this far in our journey, the very first thing I said about BTS is just like, Army, y'all are fucking up. No one has ever presented what it is. They got their favorite song, or they're like, this era is my favorite.
React to this, react to that.
But it's never been like, oh, they deal with like people things. Like everyone deals in their art.
The intro touch says like, you know, they're not just making pop songs out here. They hit on subjects, you know, that are fucking real shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, is every song like that? No. And of course, a lot of the songs that people are like, oh, react to this, react to that. The lyrics are like good lyrics and stuff like that, but they're not like this. They're not deep like this. You know, some of them are. You know, like, I mean, Black Swan's not necessarily part of the BU, but we will be reacting to that because there's little elements in it. You know what I mean? Especially the very, very, very end part, which I feel is very interesting. But anyway, but the lyrics to that are very personal to them.
For sure.
And yeah, anyway, we'll get into all this is already a long ass reaction. But yeah, he's you know, it's hard too though, because not everyone gives a shit enough to actually sit here and watch through and really dive deep into the storyline. Like
other reactors and yourself at that point in time, if you don't experience that, you're taking it at face value. You're understanding the drama, you're understanding, and that drama like in like petty, messy drama.
We're not
like
talking about K-pop drama.
Yeah, I mean like in a theatrical sense. Like you understand that there is like an emotional connection to characters, and it's presented in a way of a story that there is a degree of separation to where you can observe and you can feel something, but I live this, so there's like a different spin on that.
Now, fun fact, and this just goes to show like, I guess my like how I am sometimes is when I first got into BTS, so obviously I rewatched, I guess you could say, Fake Love, I believe it was, which I had already kind of seen-ish, kind of, but not fully before, but I didn't know who anyone was. And then I kind of tried to figure out who everyone was in Fake Love, and then the first really video I reacted to, or did I do an opposite order, DNA then Fake Love? Anyway, regardless, right after that, the next thing I saw was kind of like an intro video, because I was like, I need to learn who they are.
Right.
I didn't want to continue going into the videos without being able to know who was who that I'm looking at in these videos. So I did an intro video, and then I did a couple. There's a couple videos called BTS From Nobodies to Legends. There's two videos on it, and I reacted to both of those. Totally had me crying. Anyway, and then after that, I was told, you know, you really should get into their BU Storyline. So instead of starting to watch their music videos, I was like, let's fucking do this shit. I immediately, other than the Fake Love, which I had kind of already seen and known about, and then DNA, which I kind of sort of knew about them performing live on billboards, so the song sounded familiar, but I didn't know it, you know what I mean? So other than those two things that I was familiar with but didn't know, the first thing I dove into was the BU. I just went head fucking first in this shit.
And I'm familiar with this song that you played. You played this song before. I didn't react to like a video or a performance of it. Like in our travels back and forth.
In the car.
And I heard it. And I was just, but it's like the context is way different now that I see what they're trying to convey. And I was just like, holy shit.
Well, and there's also like Begin, the first song with JK. He wrote that song based on his relationship, and it was actually in the intro video for him, for his section. Where it's like, love you, my brother. It's about his relationship with his members. And how he grew and became the person he is because of them. And at one point in the lyrics, it's like, when my youngs hurt, it hurts me more when I see them cry than when I'm hurt myself. Like, which totally fits in with the character as well, actually.
For sure.
And the reason why, like, he wants to
heal them.
He wants to heal them and help them, like in the Run video with him and Suga pushes him away, and that kind of hurts him. Because he's like, all I want to do is help you, type of thing. And then in Jimin's, you know, you saw like kind of the lyrics there. I don't know if he's ever fully explained, like actually fully explained what his is about. There's a lot of speculation. You can just say it's about his character, because that would work. But a lot of people have speculated about different aspects of like his life or things he's gone through where it could fit as well, which I'm not going to get into, because especially because one of the things people have speculated on is a sensitive subject, and it's never been something that he himself has confirmed, and I just don't think it's okay to talk about.
Right.
Because I'll tell you off camera,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't think it needs to be said on camera like that. But yeah, so, and then Suga's that we're about to see is very much about both. It's both personal, but also his character. It's well. Both, yeah, right. For sure. His is called First Love, and yeah, and then we get into V's. V has never given an explanation what his is about. It's very much can be interpreted about his character 100%.
Right.
But you also wonder, like, is this if he why did he not say what this is about? If this seems like it could also be very personal to him, yeah. But we don't know why.
Right.
Because if it was just his character, why would he not have just been like, this is about my character?
Right.
So yeah, we don't know.
That's wild.
Don't know.
I'm excited.
But yeah, so Suga and V are next. Let's get into that in the next one, which would be part 7.
I think so.
I think it's part 7 next. All right, let's do this, guys. We're gonna go. It's been like over an hour and 10 minutes. Let's say goodbye. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please give us all your thoughts down below. I would very, very much appreciate that. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope we're enjoying this.
Oh, for sure.
It's provoking a lot of thought and discussion,
and
which
emotion.
I think, and emotion, which I really think is all BTS ever wanted when creating the series. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this, and yeah, that's it. Thank you guys. We will see you guys in the next video.